Go ahead and switch gouges. This one's getting pretty hot. Another 3/8 gouge has a little bit different grind on it, not as steep. If you're making a cut and you find it starts to vibrate, you're taking too much, that's when you just back up a little bit or back out of the cut. Establish a new ridge for the gouge to ride in. Now I'm going to go ahead and just prepare to, when I come down to the bottom, and just sweep straight in. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of this material in the middle. One of the ways to check your bottom of the bowl is to take a scraper, put it so that it's at center, turn your lathe on, holding the back end and pivot it out. Just needs sanding, and then turn it around and finish off the foot. Okay, it's been a couple days since the last turning of the bowl. We're going to clean up the foot today. The bowl has been has 2 coats of wipe-on polyurethane. It's been sanded to 220 grit. It's a good feeling bowl, good weight. Okay, these are the mega jumbo jaws for the one-way chuck, which I prefer to use. Whatever chuck you use, just be proficient with it. To set this up, you have the jaws. They have 2 bumpers per jaw. It's a longer process using this because you have to take the jaws off the chuck, replace this jaw, and then if you have to move where the bumpers were, you have to take them out, move it to where you need it for your piece that you're going to turn. Once you get the bumpers set where you need them for the diameter of piece, you have to take the jaw out off of the current chuck body, unless you have a spare chuck body. It's not a difficult process, it's just time consuming. Use the same screws, although when you get the jumbo jaws they do come with a new set. That's one jaw. So I'll go ahead and work on the other 4. We'll be right back. Okay, as I finish up with this last jaw, there's an important feature in it. This jaw has the retaining ring or pin which slides along this groove, and that keeps the jaw from expanding too far and getting out of track and having them fly off. It's a safety feature. This last jaw also has that pin. You need to make sure that the pin that you have goes in. There's 2 tracks on this jaw. There's one on each. This one has track also, so you just need to make sure that that pin is engaged. And there you have it, we're set up. As I mentioned earlier, this process from the jaws that were on there to taking these off, so you've got 2 screws out and then 2 screws in. So that's 4, and it's a 32-step process, and that's assuming that you don't have to adjust any of your outer ones. So it takes a few minutes, it's not a big deal. Okay, so go ahead and mount this. Put the chuck on the spindle. Place the bowl up against the bumpers. Now this is going to be in expansion mode. The only thing we're doing is cleaning up the foot, so we're not going to be doing a lot of cranking on this, so you don't have to put a lot of external pressure on it or outward pressure and split a bowl if you have a thin-walled bowl. Just give it a couple of taps around the rim to make sure that the bumpers are well seated. Another word of caution right here on the jaws. It says the maximum RPM for these jaws is 1,000. I recommend not going anywhere close to that. Again, all you're doing is a cleanup, so it doesn't have to be turning really fast. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the lathe on. Turn the speed up slowly. And since this dried, there was a little bit of movement in the foot. Not much, but I'll go ahead and clean that up first. Speed up a little bit more than that. That's about 500 RPM right there. And this is just making the foot flat again. what's on the outside, and then it's just a matter of coming in here and gently cleaning up the tenon. Another thing to keep in mind, I'm sure everybody's heard that the wood is traveling faster at the outer edges than it is on the inside. And what that means, if we have a 2-inch diameter, and pi being 3.14, so just go with 3, that's 6 inches of wood in one revolution being cut. But out here we've got a 14-inch diameter, so 14 times 3, 42. So we've got 42 inches of wood coming around in one revolution here, 6 inches here, and that's where you get that the wood is traveling faster out there. It's traveling slower at the inside. Yes, it's still traveling the same revolutions, but there's less wood coming around, so you have to cut slower. Taking very light cuts here. Now to finish up, I like to leave a couple of lines to put a signature on. So I just come in with a parting tool, two lines, decide on your spacing. The important thing is to get the depth the same and to get them deep enough that if you are going to do some sanding on this, that you don't sand away the detail of the lines. And that's the bottom of the bowl. Just needs to be sanded, coated to finish to match the outside. And here's the detail of the bottom of the bowl. Cleaned up. Nice serving bowl.